What's up, YouTube? It's the girl Cass, and I'm back on the couch with another video. So let's get it. Let's go. That was kind of a bop. Alright, you guys, so today I kind of want to continue the idea around branding. I recently did a video about taking photos of yourself on your phone, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to dive deeper into, you know, building your personal brand, some DIY stuff. So today we're going to create a logo. I feel like whenever people have ideas for a brand, personal brand, their business, the first go-to thing that you think about is a logo. And a lot of people, you know, you go to a lot of graphic designers. There's great graphic designers out there, charge a decent price and get a really nice logo done. So today I'm going to actually show you how to create kind of a more simplistic logo on your own. And then at the end I have a special treat. I'm going to show you how to do it on your phone. So I'm going to design a logo on Photoshop on my computer, and then I'm going to try my best to design the same logo on my phone to just kind of show you guys that you don't necessarily have to have top of the line program and know how to use top of the line things. There's just some basic things you have to know in terms of design and just certain like just terminology and styles in order to create something that you're gonna really like. So let's dive in. So I'm gonna go ahead and open the Photoshop. Photoshop is actually where I do most of my, if not all of my graphic design editing. I know Illustrator is a popular software for logos and all that kind of stuff. You could do a lot of extra things, but I'm not necessarily super into graphic design and all that kind of stuff, so I like to stick to what I can do on Photoshop. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new file. So I like to work with 1920 by 1080 just because I know that that's going to be like a rectangle, as well as that's going to be a high definition image. So that's what I like to do. Create while it loads. My computer hates doing lots of stuff at one time, so yeah. I move this to full screen. Alright, so first off, my thing automatically puts grid lines and everything on there, so I'm going to just go to view and turn off extras so I don't see that. If you guys do want to see that, then you can just turn on extras. And then I'm going to shrink my screen a little bit because I like to see everything. So what you can do is kind of, if you want, you can design from scratch, or you can look for inspiration. So maybe a logo that you see that you want to kind of look like. I'm personally going to start from scratch, and I'm going to create a logo for a business called The Regal. So I like to start with text, so I always just slap the text on there. If I know I'm gonna have text, I use my text tool, I type the text in. Right now it's white on white, so I can't see it, so let's just change the color to black for now. So I have the check, and I never put my text together. So like if I know I'm saying The Regal, I'll put The and Regal in separate text layers, just because it gives you more control when it comes down to changing different things. So as you can see, I have my background layer, my V layer, and then my Regal layer. So from there you kind of have text that you can move around, rearrange the size. If you click on it and it doesn't give you these options to rearrange it, you just check up here, show transform tools, and it'll give you the option to resize it. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So from there you can click on your text. So let's say I go to Regal, and I like to use this little characters panel to kind of edit my text. If you don't see anything that I'm mentioning, you guys just select window, and then just check whichever thing I mentioned. Right now I'm in character, so I would have just checked character, and then from there it gets me into my character stuff. So from there, the character window, you can change your font from there. So I can do a different font. I can change the type of font. This specific font, I think I downloaded online, but it only has like regular, it doesn't have bold. But this is where you would see if it had bold, like extra thin, ultra thin, like that's where you would see that in that panel. I can change my text size, so you can type in a size. You can hover over these little icons and then just click and drag. That's how I prefer to change text size. And then if it was 2 lines, then this little deleting would change that line spacing. That would just kind of space out, add space between the letters. So then you can also stretch, widen your letters just depending on what you're going for. Here you can change your color. I always think purple when I think Regal. And then it'll give you your color code down here, so you can kind of copy that, so you can put that into the other text. And then you have options like if you want to make it even more bold, if you want to italicize it. If you want it to be all caps, you can actually do it this way instead of typing in caps lock. If you want it to be all caps, but the first letter is bigger, then you have those kind of options. So you can kind of play around in the characters panel to kind of just get it to where you want it to start. From here, so I have Regal. Let's go ahead, hold shift down whenever you're making anything larger, and it'll keep it the same proportions. If not, if I did it without shift, then see, it's gonna change those proportions. So I'm gonna undo, and then you always want to press this check mark. Sometimes you'll get stuck and you're like, I can't click anything. You need to make sure you select this little check here, and you should be good to go, man. All right, so let's do the same thing to V. So I'm going to my characters. I'm just gonna make sure I got shine. So since I used it recently, it's gonna be the top one there. Let me paste that color that I copied before, and let's make the V a lot smaller. So once I have my text in there, I have my text kind of how I want it to look, then I'll kind of align it. So I'll choose my alignment, make sure that's in the center, and then let me select this one to where I want it to be. Cool. And then I kind of use the little arrow keys on my keyboard to move things ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. The word closer to the R. Legal. Alright, let's get it. So me, I'm very minimalistic, so I would honestly just take this logo and be done with it. Maybe add like an icon to it. So if I had like a PNG icon that I downloaded online, I'll click and drag it over here. Or if you wanted to draw something, I'd start a new layer with this little page turner icon down here, creates this new layer, and then maybe I would like take my brush tool and add like a little cute crown to it or something, you know, something along that line. That crown was not cute. It's a little cuter, you know, could do something like that. Something like me, something like me, something like me, something like me. Into, let's go back into Regal. Let's play around with Regal. So in my little text layers panel, which is this area right here, I have something called effects. Effects gives me all these little fun options of things that I can do to my text now. So first, let's go into bevel and emboss. So it's going to open up this window, and it's going to kind of automatically bevel and emboss your whatever you have selected. So you can kind of see now the Regal kind of pops a little bit more because it's beveled and embossed. So whatever you do in this little panel is going to happen live in Photoshop. So always make sure you know you kind of can see what's going on in Photoshop, but it's also going to give you a little preview on here as well. So let me change inner bevel. I can do emboss, outer bevel, pillow, which means it like looks like it kind of fell into the pillow. That actually looks kind of cute. And then yeah, so right now the depth is pretty low, so you can like up the depth so you can really see what you're doing. Up to you. I think I'm gonna go back to inner emboss, and then if I do that, then you kind of see it looks more like clear cut. Play around with it, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck it right here if I want to remove it. If I ever want to put it back, I can just press the check again, and whatever settings you made is gonna still be there. Let's go into stroke. So stroke is if you want to add a color to the outside. So that's very ugly color combination. Let's do like a gold. Not this gold color. There we go. So that's what stroke is. Stroke is how you get that lining outside the letters in there. You can do a gradient overlay if you want it to kind of fade. So let me go into gradient, and then all you have to do is double click on this little gradient color, and then they have some preset options so you can play around with those. Or if you want to make your own, you can click these little boxes here, and then you just change the colors. Make it your own. And then once you have it where you want, you just click OK, and then from there you can kind of decide if it's going to be completely that color or if it's going to kind of fade a little bit. Pattern overlay. So if you guys download some kind of texture or pattern, then that's where you can put it here. So if I wanted this to be actual fire, I have a fire pattern. Some other ones I've downloaded is like gold. I've got rose gold, concrete, slime, that kind of stuff. So that's where pattern comes into play. Same thing, you can lower the opacity if you kind of still want to see your purple. Here you can play with shadows, drop shadows, glow if you want the outside to glow instead of be a stroke, or do both, then that's kind of where you play with that. So effects gives you that extra step to kind of make that text extraordinary. So once you do have everything ready, so you have your images in there that you want, you have your text looking how you want it, everything's aligned, then you're just going to take away your background. So that last background layer, I just click the little eyeball and that hides your background. So now you have that checkered background. That checkered background means that your logo background is now transparent. So I can slap this logo onto anything now. So I can put it on a flyer if I want to, on a business card, wherever. So I just do file, export, and then I just do a quick export as a PNG. And then just ask me where I want to save it. So save it to my desktop. Beautiful. So one more thing, you guys. So once I have it to where I want it, and I have it exported, I like to open it. And so now that it's open, it's all in one single layer in the layers panel. And then I like to create different variations of it. So I'll go into effects, and this is where color overlay would come into play, because now you can no longer change the text color. And then I'll go into color overlay and I'll create a white version maybe and a black version, just in case I have to paste it on a darker poster, and that dark purple is kind of hard to see. And then if you guys did any like beveling or gradients or any kind of stuff, you can change the gradient to a lighter gradient color, or you can lower the opacity so it's still a lighter color, but you can still see the chisel that you added. Alright, let's hop on the cellular device. So if I were to ever have to create graphics on my phone, I would use this beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful application called Fonto, you guys. I don't even remember how long I've had Fonto. I've had Fonto for a long time, but it has come in handy for it so much. So Fonto is this little red application with the little P and the pencil. It looks like it doesn't look like it can do what it's capable of, but it's capable of so much greatness. So you probably enter into this blank background looking thing, you know, like what do I do from now? So from here you kind of press this little camera icon, and then you can do plain image. And then from there you can decide on a background. I usually just start with the neutral first option background, because you can change the color from there. So from here it will ask you your proportions, so you can decide what proportions you want to go with if you're looking for something to fit on the iPhone, or however you want to do that. That's where you find the proportions. I'm just going to stick with the 2048 by 2048. And then you can select color, and then you can change the whole background color. And then to create that little transparency effect, you can turn down the alpha all the way, so alpha kind of acts as opacity, and from there you'll get that same, if I click apply, that same checkered background idea. Cool. Let's use that. So when you're ready, have the background color you want, you just select that little icon that looks like you're about to share it, but instead you say you want to use it. So we're in. So Fonto is really simple to start typing. You just tap. You do a single tap. Will ask you if you want to add text. Like, yes, I do. So same thing with the Regal. I'm just going to put V. Oh, it's white as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to change the colors. If mine came out white, I would go to style if I want to change the colors. Let's just do black again. The Regal. Done. Great. I actually love this font. If I were to change the fonts though, when I was in text, as you guys can see, you can select fonts from there, or you can actually go to the little font option. By the way, to pull up these options, I'm just selecting on the text. So font, and then I'll see what font I want to use. Like I said, I think the font I currently have really represents this business that I have that doesn't exist. So I'll just go with that. But Fonto, y'all, has every font you can dream of. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, so from there you guys can select it to move it around, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the alignment first. So I'll just go to size if I want to manipulate the size. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Do something a little bit similar. I like that. So now to manipulate the color, like you saw earlier, I went into style, and then let's go for... So we have this purple. It's not exactly that dark purple that I had before, so let's play around with these here to kind of get a darker purple. I like that one. So 73, 50, 90. Let's remember that for this one. So let's get purple. 73, 50 and 90. So hard. Okay, there you go. Should have thought of that earlier. There we go. So we have our color. So here you don't have all those special effects like emboss and bevel and all that great stuff, but there is some cool things that you can play with. So if I go back into style, of course, you can see that you can manipulate the opacity of that logo, but you also do have stroke. So remember earlier when we went into stroke, you can add that to the outside of your text. So you kind of have to play around a little bit more here to get the exact color that you're looking for. But you do have that option there, and then you can also decide your width. So if you want it a little bit thicker, however you want to do that, cool, yeah. And then you also have like a background option if you want to add any kind of background to that logo. So not as much, but a pretty good amount considering it's an app on your phone. We go into, and then you can go to style at the top, so switch from color to style, and you can add your shadow in there. So you do have like a shadowing option, how much you want it to blur, where that shadow is gonna be. And then you have some kind of preset ones too that you can play with. So if I wanted a harsher shadow, let's lower it, and I have that option too. You can just do spacing, so that's one thing I showed you all the characters, is you can space those lines, or you can space out the letters, make them a little bit closer, however you want that to be. And then you can add like underline and all that good stuff. Take away my shadow. And you just select done. You can also manipulate the tilt. If you want to make sure your logo is completely centered, you can go to move, and then use these little tools to make sure that it's in the center. Or if you want to use how I use my keys to kind of perfect it, you can tap these little arrows to get it to where you need it to be. You can play around with the curve. 3D, I was gonna say, I think 3D you gotta purchase that extra option. But yeah, it's not bad for a simple logo for a business to start off with, and you've designed it on your phone. Some other stuff you can actually do, if you click this little menu here, you can add certain items. So if I wanted like an outline, if I wanted like an outline, I could play around with the width and the height. Change that. Oops. I can change my color. Yeah, I mean, everything is a matter of playing around with it. So you can manipulate the same thing with shapes. You can add an image, so that's kind of cool. If I wanted to, if I had a PNG image that I downloaded online, maybe. Let me just click on this quote that I posted. And then from there I can add the image into my logo. So like right now it's a lot going on with all of this stuff, but you guys get the idea of how you can kind of add your own elements to it. And then you just tap this button, save image as PNG, and kablam! You now have a logo that you designed on your phone. How amazing. How spectacular. Alright you guys, so I hope this video actually helped. Please let me know if this video helped you by commenting below. I'm not trying to make this content for myself, y'all. I'm trying to make it for other people. I'm trying to help you guys out. So please let me know if this helped you. If you need me to dive deeper into different stylistic and design options you can do when designing a logo, then just let me know what you guys need. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. I know I'm a little crazy, but you're gonna get used to me. Bye.